For more on this story, we can bring in our international affairs editor, Armen, Georgian. Good afternoon, Armen.
Good afternoon.
How is it that a Home Secretary can take away somebody's citizenship?
Well, apparently she's not actually a dual national. At least that's what the lawyer to the Begum family is saying. So the lawyer is contradicting what we just heard that British official saying, that she has Bangladeshi citizenship. The whole point, obviously, is that you can't make someone stateless. So you can't take away their British passport if that leaves them with no passport. According to her family's lawyer, that's precisely what has happened. And therefore, the basis of the appeal will be that she's been made stateless. That's what her family's lawyer is saying. And it is interesting that under British law, a Home Secretary does have the power to deprive a person of British citizenship when conducive to the public good. And this is sort of part of a debate, Delano, that's been had in various European countries in relation to the question of jihadists or suspected jihadists coming back from Syria and Iraq. You might remember the controversy here in France a couple of years ago when the previous French government tried to pass through a law to revoke citizenship for dual nationals if they were convicted in relation to terrorism offences. That law didn't go through in the end, but statelessness was certainly one of the issues in that controversy, and it's been one of the things that's been discussed in several European countries as Europe tries to come to terms with the consequences of this shrinking ISIS so-called caliphate and the return of jihadists.
Oh yeah, what to do with their citizens who are there. Now, Donald Trump has recently called on European countries to take back their citizens who joined the Islamic State group. Are European capitals heeding the U.S. president's call?
I mean, first of all, just a word on Donald Trump's comments there. Clearly, the U.S. does not want to be blamed further down the line for a resurgence of ISIS. And given that the U.S. is withdrawing militarily from Syria, it's not totally surprising that he should make such comments, because obviously he, like European countries, want to make sure that these suspected jihadists don't just disappear somewhere and regroup sometime later. The difficulty is that on the ground you've got the SDF, mainly the Kurdish-led forces, which have captured quite a few jihadists in the latest SDF offensive near the Iraqi border. These are exclusive images from our reporting team there, which met some of the suspected jihadists. And the Kurdish forces told our reporters there, well, we don't have the resources to put these people on trial, so what are the other options? Well, in theory, the Syrian state could do something. That's not a realistic option at the moment for obvious reasons. Neither is a special international tribunal to try those people a realistic option at the moment. That idea has been floated, though, as well. What this leaves, basically, is European countries and other countries around the world whose citizens have gone to join ISIS. It leaves individual countries to deal with this on an individual basis as best they can. There's no pan-European mechanism for dealing with this. The difficulty that EU countries have is that they don't want to repatriate potentially dangerous people if there's no hope of prosecuting them. And how are you going to prosecute them when you need evidence, witness statements from conflict zones? How do you find the people involved? It seems almost impossible. And what would the functioning authority be in Syria that the German government, for example, could work with? What would be the recognized authority? So it's a real dilemma for European governments. Either bring these people back and perhaps not be able to prosecute them, or leave them where they are and later be held responsible if there is some kind of regrouping or resurgence or renewal of ISIS.
It's a fascinating story. We'll see what happens, what decisions come out of European capitals and the United States and other countries. Armen, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.